Hey guys, this video is going to be about the full moon we have going on right now in the sign of Libra. I wanted to make a more organized video on this, but I didn't really have any time to sit down and dissect everything. So I'm just going to go over a brief summary about the themes. Venus is also direct right now. So Venus just went direct and I just got the notification on my phone as I'm recording. I just saw it come through. So we are officially direct. Let me tell you about how crazy it is for all of these things to take place with the full moon in Libra. That was kind of a culmination that started last year on October 2nd, I think. And now we're at the point where it comes full circle in a way. We went through a major retrograde cycle, revisiting the past, looking at everything, like kind of just almost like you dive back into the past again. And now that things are going direct, it's like now we're at a point where we're really thinking about what decision we want to make. And you're getting more clear on things, and you're starting to recognize where you feel fulfilled and where you don't feel fulfilled anymore. Libra is all about relationships, partnerships, whether it's romantic, friendships, collaborations of any kind. And so a lot of those themes have been happening, especially from the last nodal axis, which was in Aries and Libra. It was the competition between individuality and partnerships. So a lot of times, like back then, we were just wanting to focus on ourselves, some people more than others, and you just kind of push people away. And now it's like kind of going back, and some people might wake up realizing, wow, I disconnected from some important people in my life, and now I'm seeing the consequences of disconnecting. Or it could be vice versa. It's like I disconnected. I'm realizing that I was meant to disconnect from that because I learned that this was not for me, or I learned that there were other things that I wanted, right? So it could go different ways. But now we're just at this point where we're coming full circle with all the things that we have been dealing with, not only inwardly, but outwardly as well. The shifts and changes in our lives, the new people that we meet, that we come across, and the new opportunities that have come through when we needed them most. And what else was I going to say? I'm going to go over all the signs, of course. I'm going to go over what house is being affected for each rising sign, but there was something else that I wanted to talk about and I can't remember. Oh, well, maybe it'll come to me later. But let's go over the themes that are coming up for all of you guys. By the way, I got this is probably not even relevant right now, but I got my first Brazilian wax today. Sophia, why are you sharing this information? For the first time. And it wasn't that bad. I was actually kind of nervous. I was thinking to myself, okay, I've never had this happen before. Is this really going to hurt as bad as I thought? The thing that like made me not be so nervous was the fact that I've had 2 kids. Okay. So if you've had kids, that is not going to matter at all. So that pain, no. And it wasn't bad. It was very quick, like definitely a burn, that's for sure. But it was not as bad as I thought. Yeah. So anyway, don't know why I shared that, but I wanted to. It was like a first time experience. I thought it was funny. So, and I like to share my little quirks with you guys every now and then, my little life events. Okay. So Aries rising, you guys are having this full moon in your house of relationships. It's in your 7th house. So awareness of your partner, awareness of your relationships have been coming up, and perhaps you've been feeling like you've been pounded with work so much, and or you've been working really hard on your career, right? On yourself, because you've had the North Node in your 1st house for a while. So you've been really focusing on your awareness of yourself and how you're coming off to others, because then that also affects like your business partnerships, your successes and all that. But then around this time, you're recognizing possibly that you don't want to forget about your partnerships. You don't want to forget about the people you care about in your life. And so there is some kind of, there was a test with your partnerships, I would say. So this full moon is bringing up some things to kind of clear out so that you can shift in paradigm with your partner. So Taurus rising, you guys have this full moon in your 6th house. There's some changes that are, you're seeing the efforts or the fruits of your labor when it comes to routines. So if you have been revamping your work routine, your health routine, self-improvement as well. 6th house is the house of service. So you might have been changing your daily routines throughout this process, and now you're kind of seeing the what's the word I'm looking for? Well, I already said it, the fruits of your labor. So I guess I could just say that, yeah. For Gemini rising, you guys have this full moon in your 5th house. That's a fun house. Okay, guys, so Geminis, my Gemini risings. This full moon, just be careful that you don't either get pregnant or get someone pregnant, okay? Just letting you know. Full moon in the 5th house usually can point towards that. But it's about romance, children, fun, creativity. Maybe there's just been something, whether it's like you've been working on having more activities with your loved ones, being more creative. Perhaps you've been really on fire with your creativity, and then you get some feedback during this full moon about your successes in that, and how it's really benefiting you or involving your children, right? There's a newfound love and experience with your children or within your creativity. I need to make sure that I don't have any of those dots on my face. I don't know if you guys saw that video, but the lighting for some reason was having dots. It was like putting dots on my face because of the reflection. It was so annoying, but that's what you deal with when you're trying to create content and you're making all the lighting, try and make the lighting look nice. And yeah, okay. So for Cancer rising, you guys have this in your 4th house. So the 4th house is of home, parents, roots, your inner security, right? And throughout this time, you've been really possibly thinking about how you want to invest in your home, and whether it's starting a family yourself, whether it is healing some wounds that are related to home. And if you've been putting the work into that, you could really see the benefits of that, helping you move forwards, creating a healthier stability in your home and your foundations, nurturing yourself, your inner world. And then for Leo rising, we've had this in our 3rd house. The 3rd house for my beautiful Leos is all about our thinking. the way we think, the way that we relate with our environment. Okay. This is all about our mental activity. And it's also connected to siblings, right? Younger siblings, or just siblings in general, and our communication. There's something happening in regards to our relation to communicating, if that makes sense. Perhaps there's going to be some more clarity in the way you communicate with others, or others could be clarifying some things with you. I feel that throughout the process, ever since last year in October, you might not have been getting clear communication from others. This is what I'm getting here, because I've been kind of feeling that too. You haven't been getting the clear communication from other people, or there have been some barriers in communication with others that you felt like stagnant in. So because of that, you've been kind of going within and trying to kind of work things out within yourself, kind of reprogram the way you think of things, your perception. And it's also connected to the ninth house. So that's where you would dive into kind of researching spirituality, looking at a different perception of things. Maybe if you're having some scuffles with people. And this full moon is really, and especially with Venus going direct, because Venus has been retrograde in your eighth house. So I feel that this has some tie to other people. Like I said, this is tied to other people and your resources, all that kind of stuff. So I feel that this full moon is really just helping you to clarify things with others, maybe around this time, or maybe the next 6 months, that's where you're going to get more clarity. Or perhaps if there isn't any clarity, you're going to learn how to not need to have the clarification and be able to kind of sort things out within yourself, if that makes sense. For Virgo rising, you guys have Libra in your second house. So, second house is what you have, your personal resources. You've had full moon in your second. I guess, if anything, this is really to do with perhaps some new endeavors you've had within your finances, or perhaps you've received some, maybe you were learning a new skill and it's yeah. So maybe it has something to do with like your, you might receive some money, full moon in the money house. You can receive some money.